Scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a layout in my Life Crafted album using the Cocoa Daisy Doodles and Dashes collection. And today I'm going to be scrapbooking about my oldest child starting senior year. And I am flabbergasted, you guys. Like, it's coming, but when it actually happens, it's just crazy, right? So I decided to pair two photos on this page of kindergarten, the first day of kindergarten and the first day of senior year. And I decided to go with all of these fun frames in the Cocoa Daisy Doodles and Dashes collection. But rather than using them to frame my photos, I'm creating a collage on the background. And you can see that I actually use the paper with hanging frames as well. And I'm creating a collage here to sort of just create a place for me to put my photos. And I have these two Polaroid size, or like they're Instax size frames on the top here, because those are going to be the base for both of my photos. So you can see that they are both slightly larger than the actual frame, so they're going to go right on top. And I pop them up on pop dots so that I can put stuff underneath them, and just to create a little bit of depth between the photos and the frames. So I'm taking some of these adhesive die cuts, and I am using them all over the page to sort of intersperse throughout the frames. And I really wanted to make sure that I included some black here as well, because I am going to use a black background paper on the left-hand side, so I needed to make sure that I brought in enough black over here. Plus, the kid really loves black, so obviously there's black in the photos that I needed to incorporate as well. The Doodles and Dashes collection actually has a lot of black and white, and I've already done a layout that was mainly black and white, so this really wasn't a problem. But the colors that are included in the Doodles and Dashes collection, besides black and white, are really like pastel and light and perfect. Like, I love the colors in this collection, but I really needed to make sure that there was a lot of black to offset all of those sort of pastel colors. I'm going to incorporate a couple of these frame rub-ons from the rub-on sheet, and I'm just going to put them on either side of the photos because I really liked the cute little hearts that were included. I'm going to include some hearts on the photos as well towards the end, so I'm just sort of making them, or putting them in a place where I know that they will be visible and not really interfere with the background too much. So I'm just going to pull those, or put those down right there. I'm really loving all of the variety of textures in this collection. There's rub-ons, there's chipboard, there's die cuts, there's all kinds. Oh, there's puffy stickers. That's what I was looking for. There's puffy stickers. So there's so much texture in this collection that it's really been very easy to use. So initially I really wanted to use this tag to put my title down, but I messed it up. I sent it through my Silhouette and messed up the tag, so I don't end up using it. I do end up incorporating it into a different project where I can cover up the sort of messed up portions. But yeah, I had to switch gears and not use that tag, unfortunately. I'm gonna put in a couple more word strips. I wanted to do some white ones to sort of blend into the background as well. So I'm doing Don't Stop Blooming plus Happy Times. So then I took this black paper from the collection and I stuck it through my Silhouette, and it cut out the title Alexa, Play Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, because that is exactly the caption that I captioned this photo with when I put it on social media. And I just think it really encapsulates the feelings of a parent sending their oldest, or any child really, but this is my oldest, to senior year. It just feels like, at the same time that it took forever to raise a child, 17 years so far, it really feels like it goes by in the blink of an instant, or a blink of an eye, in just an instant. And yeah, I just think it really works. I used the floral paper to back a couple of these words because I really felt like it had a really cool hippie vibe that I thought matched with Fleetwood Mac. So I wanted to make sure I incorporated a couple of those. And then I just alternated between blue and white. on the rest of it to incorporate the colors from the other side. So then once I had that done, well, maybe I need to pick this last paper. I'm going to go with just the plain white, I believe, because it was really hard to read with that viney paper. So I'm just going to go with the plain white. All right, so now that once I had that done, I was just about done with this layout, but I wanted to incorporate some other things in here because it felt a little bit stark. That big black sheet of paper felt just like there was a lot of contrast, and as much as I liked that, it was just a little bit too harsh for me. So I'm gonna add a few things to this right side of this paper, the right side of the layout, while I work out what I want to do on the left hand side. So I'm going to put this tag underneath the photo. One of the benefits of popping the photos up on Pop Dots was that I could just slide it right underneath there, making sure not to cover up those rub-ons. And then I go ahead and add in some hearts on top of the photos too, of course. I'm going to add a couple to each photo in sort of alternating corners in the blank space. And then I decide to tackle the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim off the top and bottom of that black paper so that it is less stark. And I initially was going to go with this watercolor paper on the other side, but then I flip it over and it has a black and white pattern on the other side that really works really well with this black and white paper. And I thought that that was a little bit better than the watercolor on that side, but I did want to incorporate a little bit more color over here. So I'm going to take this washi tape and I'm going to put it halfway underneath the black paper on the top and the bottom, just for that little pop of color to finish balancing off the colors on either side of the layout. So I'm just going to shove this right under here so it's just peeking out. Yep, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, and I've got color stripes on the top and the bottom. So now I am really just about done. I'm kind of just playing around, seeing if there's anything that I want to add to the left-hand side, because it's still feeling just not quite as layered, even though there are lots of layers. It's just feeling not quite as done as the other side. So what I decided to do, rather than adding more icons or more words to this layout, is I'm going to add some quote-unquote decorative stapling. So I'm going to staple with my tiny attacher on the top and the bottom of this paper, which sort of blended in more than I had wanted it to. Initially was just going to staple just like that, but it blended in too much, so I'm actually going to add in some staples all over this side as well with all of these frames. And I initially just do your standard one single staple, and then I decide I want to add like little crosses over here to match the crosses on the paper on the left hand side. So I start getting a little bit more decorative with my stapling. Then I'm going to do the same to what I can over here, which is not all of them. I'd go every other one, even though I really can't reach the middle one. I could have pulled it up and attempted to reach the middle one, but I decided to just let it go. But yeah, that is it for this video. I was struggling with my tiny attacher a little bit. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. If you're interested in subscribing to Coco Daisy, there's a link in my bio below. All right, thank you.